We've got a lot to feel guilty about, haven't we? We Europeans and peoples of European descent. Colonialism, fascism, communism, and so on, yeah. Generations past have brought shame upon us, and it's up to us to apologise to the rest of the world for all the unpleasantness of the last few hundred years or so. You know, let's not bother thinking about the future and what we can try to do to make the world a better place. No, Europeans should just continue with the self-aversion. It seems as if disapproval of the West or Western influence has become almost a reflex response in much of modern politics and philosophy. It seems some Europeans want to take ownership of almost all of the nasty, negative things that exist in the world today. Some Europeans incorrectly believe that Europe, the West, if you like, invented slavery. Industrialized slavery has its origins in the Western world, but not slavery itself. And the movement to abolish slavery altogether has its origins in the West. What about the Enlightenment thinking? Born in Europe, yeah? Why does it seem so many self-loathing European intellectuals want to talk about the Holocaust every 5 minutes, but rarely do they speak about the positive effects of Enlightenment ideas? Ideas that have liberated so many human beings from darkness. You know what? I'm not a big fan of guilt, not cultural or generational guilt at any rate. I'm an individual and an individualist. I don't feel any guilt for being white or a European. I don't feel any pride either. These are secondary labels to me. Secondary forms of self-identification. I'm a human being first and foremost, always. I don't think people from this part of the world should indulge in this modern cult of guilt. I see it as an indulgence, and it's not helpful, it isn't clever, it isn't progressive. Now, over the decades, Europe has clearly withdrawn more and more from the world stage, I would say. Many see this as a good thing. Some think that Europe, or European nation-states, should be getting out there to spread European values in the world more positively. I ask the question, what are European values anyway? Europe is a continent of hundreds of millions of people, a wide variety of cultures and beliefs. Is there such a thing as a set of definite values which bind us Europeans together? Secular and liberal values, I mean. People watching this, feel free to answer those questions in the comments section, or just let me know what you think. What I see is people on the left talking about taking responsibility for past atrocities, owning up to them as part of some, I don't know, therapy. And on the right, I see people denying that any atrocities or tyranny ever took place at such and such a time in the past. Just complete denial of historical evidence going on in some cases. The denial of certain events from people on the right, or people with conservative outlooks, shows me that guilt does exist in some folks, and they haven't faced up to it yet. I think nationalism messes with people's heads in a lot of ways. But you know what? People on the left piss me off even more sometimes with their apologetic rhetoric and this almost celebration of guilt. I wish people generally would try to think more like individuals and see each other as individuals and unique human beings, rather than seeing each other primarily as nationalities or ethnicities, you know? A lot of Europeans who weren't alive during the Holocaust feel guilty about it. Some actually feel a deep sense of horror and self-loathing, even though they had nothing to do with it directly and didn't even exist at the time. Yeah. I think I understand the mindset of certain individuals. I understand that for many, identity is bound up with ideas of race and national pride and loyalty and tradition. For other people, the prime identity will be something like Westerner or Muslim or something else. You know, the way in which you view yourself obviously has an impact on your worldview and influences you in other ways. But people change, minds change, and identities change over time. Yeah. Anyway, am I the only one who doesn't feel either a sense of guilt or a sense of pride regarding my European heritage? Surely I can't be the only person who thinks this way. I simply can't be. Anyway, catch you later, folks, and as always, let me know what you think.